Hello friends, I hope that you have had a great time beginning to dive into the topic of hearing God, and a good deep discussion last week around that topic. So this week we're going to be looking a little more deeply about how God gets involved in our lives. Last week we touched on the idea of God kind of being a parent for us and how He interacts with us in that way. But all of this raises questions that you may have already started asking in your group. For example, how do you know that something's actually from God? Isn't it just me thinking this stuff or feeling this stuff? What would God say if He were to say something? How often could a person even expect God to speak? I mean, is it once in a lifetime? Is it once a year? Is it once a week? Do some people hear God every day? Those are all questions that sometimes people begin to ponder when they think about this. When you watch Bill's video today, he's going to talk about some factors that help you to sort through and understand whether God is speaking to you or it's something else. To be honest with you, that's a journey that all of us have to go on when we walk into this. You have to begin to discern or think through or pray about whether what you're hearing, a prompting, a whisper, an urging, is from God or not. It's not easy. It's never easy. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. What if the issue all along has been that God's been speaking to us and we haven't been listening, rather than God's never been speaking to us? I say that because in my house, especially when my kids were younger, I have this ability, I think my wife calls it selective hearing, to be able to tune out my children. Good or bad, it's just true. So there were moments when one or two, or maybe all three of my kids were trying to get my attention. They'd be yelling, "Dad, Dad, Dad." And I honestly would not hear them. I wasn't trying to ignore them. I just truly didn't hear them. Now, it's hard to believe that somebody could be yelling your name, Dad, at a pretty decent volume and you don't hear them. But I really didn't. And so my wife would say to me, "Honey, the kids are trying to get your attention." I'm suspecting that this has happened in a few of your households over the course of time as well. And my internal response is, "Why are you upset at me? I didn't hear them." And her response is, "How could you not have heard them? They're waking the neighbors." The point is that it's literally physically possible inside of me for someone to try to communicate to me in a real voice, in an audible voice, and I can still miss it. How much more is it possible for God to communicate to us in an inaudible voice that we can miss? Our challenge for you this week is to begin to tune in, to hear God, and to sort through what it means to know whether it's God or not. I don't know about you, but I still have Mom's voice in my head. So as you sort through life, Bill, this study, and other things that we're going to share with you will begin to give you some tools to sort through hearing God's voice in your life. I challenge you to try it.